Hey, this is Joe Crump. Welcome to my video. This next question here is from Babbs Stilly. Babbs is a realtor. She's from Kansas and Missouri, she says. Needs some starter information on short sales. What is the benefit to the owner versus foreclosure? How do I get paid my commission on top of the lender taking less for the sale? How do homeowners associations get paid that are in arrears? Do I send in an offer with the request for a short sale to the lender? What if there is a second on the house as well? Thanks, Babbs. All right, first of all, let's talk about short sales and the value of doing short sales. There's a lot of people out there that are teaching short sales as being a viable way of working as an investor, and you can make a lot of money in short sales. So there's no reason you can't make money in it. But also know that, and this just came out from the National Association of Realtors, that only 1 in 9 offers that are made to lenders for short sales are accepted. So you're on an uphill battle. If you know how to do it, if you really understand the process, if you really know how to make the thing happen, you have a chance of making that happen. But lenders are also, they're not stupid. They're going to try to get the most amount of money that they can from the properties. And if it makes more sense for them to take the property back and list it, they're going to do that instead. So don't expect to get 30, 40, 50, 60% discounts on short sales. I don't see that happening very often. But let me answer your specific questions about short sales because I think it's relevant. I think there's a lot of people that are still out there doing it. The benefits to the owner versus foreclosure, one is that it's going to have a different impact on their credit, although not very much because it's still going to show up that it was given over as a deed in lieu of foreclosure. It's not really going to keep their credit clean. And usually if they're going into foreclosure, they won't even talk, the bank won't even talk to them about doing a short sale until they're late 3 months, until they've filed a notice of default. And this is an average number across the country. It's different in different places with different lenders. Some lenders are waiting for a very long time before they're filing a notice of default because they don't want the property back right now, and they're just having a hard time keeping up with all the foreclosures that are happening. So, is there a huge benefit to the seller? Not really. They're not getting any money out of the deal. It would be much better for them if you took over the property subject to the existing loan. If they just deeded you the property, you started making the payments. And hopefully you can find them at a time before they stop making their payments. This is the best group to go after. Everybody thinks they need to go after people who are in foreclosure, that they're going to get the best deal doing that. But that's not the case. What we're finding is we're going after for sale by owners, people who are still making their payments and want to sell their property, but can't sell their property because there's not enough equity in there to hire a realtor to do it. So they try to do it themselves. They aren't successful with it because nobody out there can get a loan to buy it from them. So we're going to them and say, why don't you just deed us the property? We'll take it subject to the existing loan. You'll stay on the loan. We'll be on the deed. You'll be responsible for the loan. We won't give you a down payment. You make the next payment on the property, and we'll take over the property and we'll put a tenant in there. That's one of the things that I've been doing. I actually did one yesterday. And she was very, very pleased that I took it off her hands. Even though she's still on the loan, even though she's still responsible, even though she's got to make the next payment on the property, because I want to have enough time to fill the property before I start making payments. And by the way, if you don't want to have the responsibility of making those payments until you know you have a tenant, you can set it up as a purchase agreement rather than just having them deed it to you, and they can and only close the deal if you find a tenant. So if you don't really understand how to find tenants or how to make that process work, and you're nervous about that and you just want to make a quick flip, you go out there and find a tenant, get them in there, make some money that way, and then you'll have a good tenant for your property. Now the for rent method that I've talked about on other videos is a different thing altogether because you're just flipping the property. You're not going to keep the property. You're not going to keep it for the long term. One thing about keeping properties for the long term, that's how you get rich. If you're just flipping the properties, you're going to make cash flow, and you can make nice cash flow. You can make excellent, six-figure income, high six-figure incomes on these types of things. But you're not going to get rich. You're not going to do the 7-figure stuff, which is where you want to be, and you're not going to have the long-term residual value unless you keep the property. How do homeowners associations get paid that are in arrears? If you do a short sale and the bank accepts a certain price, they'll deal with the homeowners association, they'll deal with any liens on the property, they'll deal with any late payments, they'll deal with the second mortgage. If there's a second mortgage, they go and negotiate with the second mortgage holder. If the second mortgage holder won't negotiate, then they won't do the short sale. But a lot of times the second will. Most of the time, what I've seen in short sales is that that second gets completely thrown out. So they have to have a second that is willing to do that. That's one of the reasons why these things fall apart, because the lender, the first mortgage holder, wants to get as much money from the deal as they can. So they're not as flexible as all the hype out there about short sales suggests. Anyway, hope that helps.